Hello, streamers. It's Thursday. It's Marc Draws in the Afternoon, working title. Still a working title, I don't know what to call it, but Marc Draws in the Afternoon seems appropriate. How is everyone? Are we still well? We're still well. Today I'm drawing my fourth and final fan art ever. I have been doing a series of these. They're fun. I like doing them. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I've been mucking around with the settings and I don't know if anything works. But OBS is working fine, I think. Also, if you don't follow the channel, please hit that button because I need some more followers in order to level up this channel. It's something which I really want to build, and it's tough to get going if I don't have enough followers. That means I can take subscriptions and whatnot. And hopefully I can carry on doing this because it's fun for me. I have no idea if it's fun for anyone else. So as a professional, I prepped this drawing yesterday. Because last time on Tuesday I didn't prep properly, and I was just like, oh yeah, oh, I can do this fan art really quickly 20 minutes before I went on stream, and then it was great. So did the drawing in Procreate on my iPad, and Procreate has a really cool thing where it can do a time-lapse video. So I thought I would show you the time-lapse video because, you know, fun, right? Time-lapse replay, I think is that one. Okay. And then I can, in theory, yeah, there's a bit of a delay. I can show you what I did. I can talk through it. So I took all suggestions on Twitter and Instagram, and it was really bloke heavy. Everything was really sort of like male focused, which is fine, you know, whatever. So this is quite a bro heavy selection of characters. They've all got like a frown. Most of them had like a frowny face. It was like really like angst driven. So we've got Hellboy, Mike Mignola's classic character. I didn't want him to be like super like growly and fierce because there's a lot of growly, angry people that I was going to carry on drawing. So I thought I'd draw him with a cat. Waluigi gave me a bit of trouble because his face is weird. And if he's not like drawn in a Mario like proper style, it just didn't look right. So it took me a while to do. If you saw Tuesday's stream, I had enormous trouble with Squirrel Girl. Getting her face right was a bit weird. This time, Waluigi. Oscar the Grouch was really easy to draw because I love those Muppets dearly. The favourite one to draw, though, is coming up, Judge Dredd, 2000 AD's famous son. I looked at a few artists from Judge Dredd. Mike McMahon, I can't really pronounce his name properly. He was like the main guy I sort of looked at. He's got such a sort of like really angular style. He's drawn Judge Dredd so much that he's sort of like streamlined all of his like shapes, but also like sort of like exaggerated them a little bit. So when I was sort of like drawing Judge Dredd, I don't want to call him Judge, like Judge is his first name. When he was drawing Mr. Dredd, so when I was drawing Mr. Dredd, I was copying his style a little bit too much, but I think I got the right sort of balance there, and that real good sort of like frown and sort of bald chin. Sam and Max from Steve Purcell's great comic book series, but you guys may know Sam and Max from their TV animation series or their video game from LucasArts, which was incredible. I love that game so much. Um, and even though it says Guybrush Threepwood, I didn't want to draw another video game character. So I struggled a little bit. I drew Daria to begin with because I wanted like a female character in there at least. But I drew Daria a few years ago, and I much prefer that take on Daria that I did. It was like a little bit more in my style. So yeah, I went with Bender in the end. Ender. Because I like drawing Macaronian stuff, and he seemed to suit the sort of like six group that I had going on. So that was done in Procreate. Procreate's a really cool app on iPad. You pay once, you never have to pay again, which is great. I really enjoy drawing in pencil and Procreate. I love mucking around on there, but I haven't really found it to be that great with finished, I don't want to say proper work, but work that I would do, like comic book work. I find the inking to be weird because it's all anti-alias brushes, and I can't quite figure out how to get a clean, solid black threshold line, which is what you kind of need for professional work, at least. So yeah, I am now going to go into Clip Studio. Let's have a look on the stream, see if that's worked. Yeah, cool, man. So I'm all ready to go. I'm going to start inking soon. If you're in the chat, say hi. Royalty. Am I saying that wrong? Let's say Ray. Ray's in the chat. They're alive, so that's fun. Look, at this stage, I think alive is better than the alternative. So yeah, keep me company in the chat if you're out there. Throw questions my way. I'm happy to answer them. I can't play music on Twitch because they tell me off, which is annoying. So I'm going to be listening to music on my headphones, and you'll just have to listen to your own music somehow. But yeah, if you've got any questions, throw them my way. I'm going to make sure all my settings are right on my brushes. Yeah, cool. So yeah, let's go. He says, choosing music. Let's go in a second when I figure out what to listen to. Let's listen to some Jeff Rosenstock, the good boy himself. Yeah, cool. Hellboy was a little bit tricky to draw. His style is so synonymous with Mike Mignola. Big dark black shadows, chiseled chin, great big forehead, horns shaved down. That when it's transferred into someone else's style, it almost doesn't look right. A bit like, so the trouble I had with Squirrel Girl yesterday, or Tuesday, essentially was it didn't look like someone else's drawing, if that makes sense. And I had a little bit of trouble with that at the beginning when I was drawing Hellboy. It didn't look right because it didn't look like a Mike Mignola drawing. So I opened up some Duncan Fegredo artwork. Duncan Fegredo took over Hellboy a couple of years ago. Well, I think Mike came back in the end. But seeing how Duncan sort of like blends his style with Mike's style was really interesting. And they're beautiful. If you Google Duncan Fegredo Hellboy commissions, it doesn't mean watercolor or ink wash. They're stunning, really nice. to the point where I kind of wish Hellboy comics had looked like that a little bit more. Like I know, like other people have drawn Hellboy in BPRD, but they've always coloured like, you know, normal flat colour, a little bit of gradient, but not really the sort of wash or watercolour style. Apologies as always for zooming in and out of my canvas. It's because I've got bad eyes, so I can't see. A lot of the drawing streams really pay attention to keeping that canvas as steady as they possibly can. Not this stream, buddy. Unfortunately, when you type in Hellboy into Google, a lot of stills come up from that last film. That did not look very good. I haven't seen it. But woof, does David Harper look like he's buried under all that prosthetic. Poor guy. Ah, thank you. I've got some new followers. Thank you to N8 Gallagher. Nate Gallagher? Thank you for the follow. And also our good friend, the Rayolt. Let's say Ray. Thank you, Ray, as well. Need those followers. Need to get at least double what I have at the moment in order to do some more stuff on Twitch. If you're after a good follow on YouTube, Daniel Warren Johnson has just started a YouTube channel, and Daniel Warren Johnson is one of the most amazing artists in the world. His streams are quite. Well, he's not doing streams at the moment. He's doing more like vlogging. He's taking people through like his sketchbooks. He's very sweet, but he does stuff called. He does comics called like Murder Falcon and Extremity. But yeah, that should be an interesting follow if you're into process and stuff. I thought about maybe doing stuff like that as well. I don't have a hobby, so I'm trying to find a hobby. Maybe vlogging and videos are my hobby. I don't know. I was saying the other day, I think streaming video streaming or like recording your videos, or it's like the new social media that like artists need to do. It's wild. Like everyone seems to be doing it. It's like a few years ago. Well, I say a few years ago, like what, a decade ago. Like we all got a Twitter. Like Twitter was like if you wanted a job or if you wanted to build your followers, had to get Twitter, and then you had to get on Instagram, and now it's like streaming, but like streaming and like recording like yourself drawing isn't what you really. It's not what like comic artists are like attuned to. we're very much like, don't talk to anyone during the day. Sit at home, uh, mostly in silence. And now we're like, you have to like talk while drawing and talk to a computer screen. Yeah, Nate brings it up. Potential jobs want to see your content. Content, such a wild word. Um, but no, totally right. It's all about branding, and you just can't. you just can't draw. Well, I guess you could. It's all the other stuff you got to do. So I was drawing in Procreate, or I was showing the pencils in Procreate earlier, and talking about how Procreate is a one-time only purchase. I think it's $10, 10 quid, whatever it is. It's not like a huge amount of money. But old Clip Studio is a subscription service, which is a little bit more annoying. But when I got Procreate, they were doing a free offer. Say a free offer. It was a 6-month trial. I think I've told this before. But that gave me enough time to realise that I really liked Procreate. No, I do that every time. I really liked Clip Studio for work. So it's worth the subscription, which I think is, you can pay yearly. It's a little bit, you get a little bit of a discount. But I think it's still cheaper than getting the Adobe subscription. And please, please, please avoid that Photoshop app at all costs, because it's so bad. Yeah, Nate brings a good point up rather in the chat. He says that he quit Adobe at one point, checked the box that said it was too expensive, and they offered me a discount. Yes, we've done that a few times. I did that with Dropbox as well. I was like, this is too expensive, and they were like, oh, have like your old price, because they shoved their price up. I think last year or the year before. And it's like, you dirty little so and so's. If you can carry on offering that price, then why aren't you? I know why Adobe have done it, essentially because everyone pirated their stuff. So we've only got ourselves to blame. Hi to Trapshot, how you doing? I think Trapshot gave me the suggestion to draw Plug from the Bass Street Kids on the last stream. That was a good drawing. For those who are just joining us, I'll give you a little full canvas so you can see what I'm drawing. There we go. There's a delay on my Clip Studio going into my Mac, so I was just staring at it for ages going, is it working? I was talking about tangents on the last stream as well. A tangent is when you have one line going from one either like person or being, whatever, and it sort of interacts with maybe a line that is in the background or is a line from another character or something. And when I draw digitally, it always, I don't know what happens, my pen just seems to want to go to the other line. So essentially, like this would be a tangent. In that this line I'm drawing in, so that I've just highlighted it in pink. The cat line is now interacted with the Hellboy's hand. I don't know why it happens, but every time I draw digitally, it always just seems to happen that I draw a tangent. It's bad planning. Because that tail looks bad. Okay, we'll come back to that. We were talking about tangents and if people actually notice them. But I watched a stream earlier today and someone was talking about them an awful lot. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe they are more common than I thought they were. I'm sometimes a bit stroppy with that stuff. I'm like, oh, no one's going to notice a tangent. No one's going to notice bad perspective. No one's going to notice that I've drawn, like, the wrong hand on the wrong arm. No one's going to notice that I've drawn a thumb doing a thing that a thumb shouldn't do. No, someone will always notice. I was brainstorming earlier. I've been doing a lot of writing recently. I have a new Chloe Noonan's like 10-page thing, which I finally thought all about. I've just got to get the encouragement to get going on it. But I've been like doing some other writing for something that's not been announced yet. That was my morning. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by James in the chat saying the cat's tail looks a bit thin. Oh, I flipping heck. Well, maybe. But look, it's made another tangent. There we go. No, that's going to interact with the border too much. Oh, well, tell you what, we'll come back to that. What was I saying? I was talking about thinking. So, my fiance and I, we moved into this place about just over a year ago. And got a studio set up in here. Great, spare bedroom. First time I ever had, well, for a very long time, a separate place to do my work and stuff. But I have found that writing in here is such a struggle. There's too many distractions. Either like I don't know, because I've got a window there, so if I see someone walking past, it's like an instant like, oh, what's going on? Like a turn. So I set up in the kitchen earlier, and that was a good time. Got a lot of work done in there. Because you can't go out anywhere. So I was like, where can I go and think? Kitchen. So, Judge Dredd. I've not read much 2000 AD, which might get me chucked out of comics, or British comics at least. They always seem like something I shouldn't be reading, or I wasn't allowed to read. If that makes sense. They were so like scuzzy and like gnarly. But like nowadays, like if I'm at like a comic mart or something and I see them, like trying to pick them up. James too has never read a 2000 AD in his life. Makes us no less of a comic fan. Yeah, I agree. I'd like to be aware of it though, like aware of its influence and aware of its history, especially when it comes to the artists involved. I think I may have read Batman versus Judge Dredd. Back at the time when Batman was just crossing over with like everyone, like Spawn. Oh. Thank you to Clarkle for the follow. My good pal. No, I don't think Judge Dredd versus Batman counts either. It's like saying you read a Punisher comic and you just read a Archie versus Punisher. Which was that half drawn by John Romita Jr.? I don't think my man in the chair, Gav, is here today, so I don't think he could look stuff up for me. I think Dan DeClaro might have done the Archie stuff. Okay, yeah. James is saying he did not enjoy Judge Dredd versus Batman. And he didn't enjoy Batman versus Aliens either. So what comic crossovers are good? Amalamagalam, or whatever it's called, the DC Marvel mashup, um, does not count. I don't know why it doesn't count, but it's my stream. See, I still can't say it. People are typing it in the chat, and I still don't know what it's called. Amalgams? Amalgams. Amalgams. No, it's no. Sounds like I'm having a serious medical condition happen to me. It sounds like it's like in Homer, when he reading the newspaper and he just goes, Trapumpoline, Trapumpoline, Trapumpoline. God, I love that episode. Oh, spinning that canvas. Sorry, apologies again. I'm trying to think if I actually have read any comic book crossovers. Apart from Spawn versus Batman. Savage Dragon Turtles, maybe? That's one. Wasn't very good. What other ones have I read? I think there was a Simpsons Bongo like crossover with I think the Radioactive Man title and the Simpsons and Itchy and Scratchy. There was a fun bit in there. I think they start taking the mickey out of Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee. They have like the senior citizens? They're old blood, if I remember rightly. So that's the sort of level we're dealing with. And there's Wild Brats. It was all the bullies. James is telling me to leave the Eric Larson love alone. Savage Dragon is a good comic that I think we're all about to reappraise. Look, I know all the problems with that book. But I still dig. He can draw a good punch. You can't deny that. He can draw a really good punch. When I was drawing this, I couldn't quite remember if Judge Dredd ages with the comic, if that makes sense. If he ages in real time, maybe not real time, but like he's like one of the few comic book characters who actually do age. Um, which is cool if that's true. But yeah, again, lack of knowledge. The film was, well, the second film, that was pretty cool. Some of it was a little bit pantomime, shall we say? James, embarrassingly, he doesn't feel good about this. Embarrassingly, he quite enjoyed the Batman Ninja Turtles crossover from a couple of years ago. I could not stand the artwork to that. It was like in this like weird watercolor style, if I'm remembering rightly. They did a an animated version of it, or like a sequel, which looked so much better because it was done in like the Batman animated series style. And I thought that looked so much better. I don't mean to poop on people's enjoyment of that book. Like what you like. I like Savage Dragon. Cool. Freddie Williams III drew that, apparently. No offence to Freddie. Hey, you got to draw two of the all-time greats. And I am currently drawing Waluigi on a stream for a handful of people. But thank you, as always, for joining me. So yeah, Waluigi. They won't let him in Smash Brothers. They just treat Waluigi like a glorified extra. As if he was like just a random Goomba. James got a commission from Freddie Williams III. Do you want to tell us what it was? Was it a Peter Parker? There was a rumor. There's always a rumor, but there was a rumor today or yesterday going around that there's going to be some big Mario news today. They're going to finally officially announce that 3D collection. Excuse me, that they've been threatening to sort of release for a couple of weeks now. Oh, it was a Luke Skywalker apparently that James got drawn. draw much in the way of Star Wars. I drew a Leia the other day. I think I drew... Yeah, I did like a Rick and Morty Star Wars like mashup commission, which wasn't terrible. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be brave and say it. It wasn't a terrible drawing. Passable, I'd say. I think I did one of those perspectives where it kind of looks like a video game, like a Double Dragon, where like, I don't know, like you're looking at it from like from a front view, and people are like scrolling like the pavement's up here, and people like are like scrolling down. Yeah, weird. Not one of my best, but did a Han and Chewie. I did a sketch cover, didn't I? That was again, that wasn't bad. That was another Rick and Morty one. Thank you to MD Penman, my good pal, for the follow. Again, if you're not following, smash that follow button. I need a few more followers in order to unlock stuff on the old Twitch. But considering I think the lockdown is going to carry on, I'm just going to carry on streaming. You liking my rugged beard? I'm giving it a go, Mark. I forgot to shave. And then my other half, Robin, said, why don't you carry on? You've been growing that for the last 3 months. I'm not going to dignify that. But maybe a good few weeks. It is now at the stage where it is either going to go either way. Like it either needs to go or I got to lock in. But nice to know that my hard work is being, noticed. I've been working out as well. Which is a ridiculous sentence. I say working out, I've been doing like granny push-ups on the stairs. What are people doing in the chat for the locked? What things have they had to do or have done they wouldn't normally do? Like, can't get a haircut. So what's everyone's hair situation like? I think mine and Mark's good friend James did the shave the other day, and I was threatening Robin with that. Not shaving her head, shaving my head. I would never shave Robin's head. But she's not having that. She does not want me to shave my head. Chop Shop has bought a Babyliss hair cutter thingy so I can cut it myself. That is dedication. Mark was shaving his head before it was cool. Nate Gallagher, my wife cut my hair. It's easy. It's just a buzz cut. See, I've got this weird, big, fringy thing going on. Right. Yet people are locking in with sorting their own hair out. I don't have the balls to do it. I think I got a bad haircut once. And I think this is when I was little. It wasn't like it was like last month, whatever. I cried my eyes out afterwards. It didn't look any different from normal. I think I just realised it like I was an ugly kid. Ellaby gets sad. Oh, James's hair is falling out. Not sure how much I'll have left when we come out of this. Yeah, the stress is gonna deplete everyone. Everyone's hairline's gonna go. I mean, getting more grey hair, which which is fine. That is a way of life. But I've got such a young face. It's gonna look weird if I just have this like super young face and then like grey hair. Chapshot has also been playing Dead Rising 4, where you beat zombies down in a shopping mall just in case he or they need to practice for when the apocalypse comes. It's a good decision. Hopefully, we'll not get to the decision where I need to eat any of your brains. Good zombie video game that I have played, and everyone has played, Left 4 Dead 2. I realised I had an Xbox for some reason. I didn't know I had it. A while before we moved, and I got that game up and running, enjoying myself, and then the Xbox just went like dead, and the red ring of death came up. And I was like, oh yeah, this is why I never played this thing. But what a game! 10 years old. But like, why didn't they just make another one? He says, not having done a cloning comic for 5 years. Just shifting my seat a little bit. It's okay. No, I'm playing new games. I'm playing new games now. Like. I'm not playing many new games. Speaking of zombies, James says he watched Train to Busan last night. What a film! I haven't seen it myself, but I hear very good. Zombies on a train, and the humans are trying to like outrun them, right? Mark says it's good. James, what did you watch it on? Is it on a streaming platform that I can easily get hold of, or did you do an illegal? Actually, you should probably not say that if you did an illegal. Is it a bit like Snowpiercer? Not like Captain America eats a baby, but like they're going through the carriages and stuff, right? I should just watch it. Okay, it's not really like Snowpiercer. Fine. Okay, well, fine. Zombies everywhere. Train stations everywhere. Everywhere in all caps. Oh. Mark is recommending a good zombie movie is One Cut of the Dead. Real fun. So, drawing Oscar the Grouch. A few years ago, I got really obsessed with drawing the Muppets. I think it was around about the time that Roger Langridge run on the Muppet comic came out. And I was like, dang, this is a job that I could do, well, a poorer version of. If you've not seen Roger Langridge's Muppet comics, they are fantastic. I got an original piece of art behind me, you can't see it. Oh, apparently Mike Mignola has been drawing Muppets on Twitter. I did see a Kermit that he did. I did see a Kermit, right? Or am I just imagining this? He's been drawing like loads of stuff in pencil recently, on his Instagram as well. And Jim Marford, if you don't know Jim Marford's work, one of the all-time greats. Jim's been inking him, and it's really weird to see those two styles together. Jim's quite... Oh, goody. So I've done that thing where I somehow, on Clip Studio, have managed to select the background layer with my palm. That's annoying. That's fine. Should probably lock that if I can remember how to lock a layer. Okay. I've never done an inking test before, or like inked over someone else's line work. But I've seen a few artists do it. I saw Joe Quinones. He did Dull H for Hero recently at DC, and he did Have the Dark at Marvel. I saw that he did a Jim Lee, or he inked over a Jim Lee pencil in like an old X-Men piece. It was wild, man. Seeing those two styles come together. It looked good, it didn't look right, if that makes sense. Because Jim Lee's been inked by Scott Williams for the last 1,700,000 years. With all the cross-hatching and stuff, it was just strange to see someone use texture and like thicker lines and stuff. Was Bill Sienkiewicz inking Mignola's pencils, James? Because that would be insane. That would be really good to see. So yeah, I didn't realise when I was penciling or planning. Maybe I should have. This is quite a frowny selection of characters. So like Judge Dredd, Oscar the Grouch. I did a Daria as well, and yeah, she was just a couple of Mizogs. James saw David Finch inking Scott Williams pencils. Wow, I can't imagine what Scott Williams pencils would look like. I imagine just like a Jim Lee light, maybe. Bunch of jobbers, anyway. Mr. Bean. Yeah, I looked at your suggestion for Mr. Bean, James. I just didn't want to draw it. There was like, got a lot of suggestions which I didn't understand. I think it was a lot of anime stuff, which I was just a bit like, I don't know what this is. And if I didn't know what it was, then I just ignored it. But this has been fun to do, and I was thinking about doing some similar streams. Maybe drawing like, I don't know, switching styles up. So, excuse me, what's that post lunch time? So yeah, switching some styles up. So maybe drawing like, I don't know, fan art, but like in a different style. So draw X-Force, but like Bob's Burgers or something like that. I think next week I'm going to get back to drawing comic pages because I've got some Noonan to draw. But I like the idea of doing like full pieces on a stream. Maybe colour. I don't know. Because I've been working on Noonan stuff and I've been doing loads of practice like illustrations and practice designs. Colour is still the one thing that really confuses me. So I did some Rick and Morty work recently, and there's a guy called Leonardo Ito. Ito? It's spelled ITO, and I got the colours back from him recently, and they are amazing. Really incredible stuff. And yeah, these colorists have an eye which I don't have. I think I've talked about this before, but it's one of the things I would be quite happy to give away to someone else to do. So I can concentrate on other stuff like writing and drawing. Definitely don't want to do lettering. Cartoonist Kayfabe talk about this a lot. They talk about like if you're a cartoonist and you're writing and drawing, then why wouldn't you letter? Because it adds so much more personality to the page. which is true. I handlettered a book that I did called Elabisms, and it looks great, but I don't know what's happened to my hand, but I've got like a little bit of like a claw situation going on. Marc's out. Thanks, Marc. Thanks for watching. Keep up the beard. I'm going to try another week at least. Thanks for the follow. Love you. Love you too, babe. All right. God, we can all talk about Marc now. What an awful person he is. So, Sam and Max. Freelance police. Steve Purcell's characters. This is one of the video games that I played so much as a kid. I was obsessed with it. To the point where it had... In the game, it's got like loads of like little mini games, essentially just throwaway stuff, so you can like dress the characters up as like, I don't know, like paper dolls sort of thing. I would just play that for hours because I just wanted to see all the artwork that it had. It was a comic to begin with. There was a collection from Telltale. Who I think got the license to do the video game. They made a collection of the comics, and if you can get hold of that, it is a great selection of really funny comics, drawn by someone who I think goes a little bit underappreciated in comics. Steve Purcell now works at Pixar. He took up directing Brave when the 7 other directors of Brave all bailed. I think Steve was the last man standing on that project. And if you've got Facebook, he posts artwork now and again. You type in like Steve Purcell, Sam and Max, whatever, it'll come up. And it's nice to see how his style, again, talking like similar to how Mike McMahon drew Judge Dredd, just simplifying all the shapes and like making them like less round, elongating stuff. When I was drawing Noonan a bit more regularly, I think by the 4th issue she was quite squidgy. She started out like really tall, and like over time I just sort of like squished her down a little bit. And then I took 5 years off drawing it, and and I'm trying to like relearn how to draw that again. Anyway, Sam and Max. So yeah, it was a point-and-click video game done by LucasArts in the 90s, I want to say. I'm not sure you can play it legally. Oops. But if you can get hold of an emulator of it, oh, it's so good, so funny. I think Steve did a lot of work on the other LucasArts games as well, like Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle, Maniac Mansion. I played one of those games recently. What was it? Grim Fandango, because it came to Switch, and I didn't know how impossible it was. It was like super hard. It was like I had to like look up like every other thing. I found all the other games like relatively not easy, but I could figure it out. Like I remember playing Monkey Island 2, and it took me months, but I got there in the end. And Monkey Island 1, like, once you figure out how to do the sword fighting by doing the quips, um, once you figure that out, um, it's a doddle. Um, but for some reason, Grim Fandango, I was just like, oh, really racking my brain at some point. I don't think I finished it. I think I got a little bit like not frustrated with it, but it got to that stage of being like, you know, when you're outsmarted by a game. Nate says it's sad that a lot of old games are impossible to get a hold of these days in a legitimate way. It is, yeah. I know a lot of no, sorry, not comic museums, video game museums have started popping up because a lot of this stuff is just falling out of like, right? If it's like a licensed game, they've only got the license for a number of years, um, so they're trying to like buy original copies of stuff and like original systems of stuff, and then as technology gets like older, this stuff gets more obsolete. Like I think a lot of people like are like frustrated that you can't get like all the old NES games like legitimately, which is fair enough. Um, but sometimes I'm like, there's sometimes more to it than that, especially when it comes to like license and stuff. Although why the Switch store isn't as good as the Wii U store, I don't know. I got a text message from one of the British comics favourite persons, Rachel Smith. So if Rachel's out there watching, hello, hi, thank you for your congratulations message. That's lovely. Thank you. Yeah, and thanks for watching. Yeah, Nate brings a good point up about why doesn't Nintendo want to sell them. I think Nintendo want to concentrate on their Switch new stuff maybe at the moment. So I didn't get a Wii U, but if I'm right in thinking, were all the old games up there to begin with? Trying to think back to the Wii days. Because it just means the longer they hold out having these games like legitimately, because they closed the Wii U store, closed the Wii store. The longer they hold out, the people are just going to get them like illegally, and then they're going to sue them. Yeah, I think Nintendo and Nate says thankfully they turn a bit of a blind eye to most of the ROM community. Um, there was something on IGN, I think it must have been last year, because this year has felt like 500 billion years. I think someone was trying to sell ROMs of old and new stuff, and Nintendo just were like, "What are you doing?" So I think when it comes to selling, they might take a bit more offence to it. Sorry, I had to do a quick mute. We have a really scary doorbell, which we can't change. We're only renting this flat, but it sounds like a game show buzzer. And we had a delivery van pull up. So whenever a van pulls up outside the window, it's like I just brace myself because it's so super loud. There we go. So whilst I was working earlier, I was thinking about what stuff I could do on the stream, drawing wise. Um, if there's any suggestions, that might be interesting. It's pretty cash at the moment, but I was like, could I get other people to draw as well? Like people who are better than me, maybe? Trap shots into the idea of a draw off, yeah. I thought even just having an artist, say if they need to draw a page or something, or they just want to doodle for 45 minutes to an hour. Just just jump on the stream. Have a chat. Good afternoon, Ziboto. So another tangent. Ziboto is late to the stream. That's fine. It's just just cash. Pop in when you can. They had to at least pretend they were working from home. Wow, the struggle is, I think the struggle is real for a lot of people. I was talking earlier about, like, I was doing some writing earlier, and finding the only distraction-free place in the flat was the kitchen. There was Trapshot is saying once you get subscriber options for Twitch, you could offer a caricature of someone if you could see their photo. It's a good idea. I do have I don't want to say hatred. A bad experience, shall we say, of drawing real people. I always tell the story of the one Christmas I was doing commissions. I had to just redraw and redraw and redraw this like boyfriend's face that someone had commissioned me to do. And it was painful. It was like, that's great, but could you change the nose? And so I'd change the nose, and they'd be like, not quite right. Could you change the nose again? Okay, yep. Really like zoomed in of the photo. Like, how can I make this cartoony? You know. And then did the nose fine, and it was the eyebrow was a problem. And I was just like, oh no, I don't ever want to do this again. It's probably my fault for being such a bad artist. But yeah, no, it really put me off drawing real people. I think ever since I've not really gone back. No, you can't. I think sometimes people they want to get their money's worth. Absolutely, that's part of it. But I think sometimes people forget that you're drawing a cartoon and you're not doing like a photo or like a photorealistic drawing. I do want to do commissions again. I have a couple to do. I have a couple outstanding. Well, one outstanding, really. I used to do them all the time. It's just trickier now because I work digitally. But I can make it work. Boom, boom, boom. Ziboto has a friend who does portraits at conventions and says, I have no idea how he does it. There must be so much pressure and time constraints. Boy, yeah, I've watched people do like they would have someone sitting down like on a chair next to their table, and they would just draw them. It sounds horrible. My good friend Adam Cadwell would take a photo of people and then tell them to go away, and then make them come back in like an hour or something. And they were always really good. He always did a good job of them. But no, I can't. Yeah, it's something I've never really grasped. Conventions though, I do hope. I do hope we get to do a convention again sometime soon. Well, if it's tangent central at the moment, isn't it? Let's move that. There we go. I hope if there's anyone watching who does conventions normally, I hope they're doing okay. It was such a strange like week where just like everything just sort of like collapsed. Like watching Emerald City like slowly decide to not go on, and then just the outpouring of people going, dang, this is like a big part of my income that has gone. And that was only what 6 weeks ago? Only. Maybe 5 weeks ago. Ziboto says, Thought Bubble was really good last year. It was my first one. Normally it's just the Glasgow con I go to. Is that as an exhibitor? Is that as general public? Thought Bubble was great. Even in the new digs, it was a good time. And the Glasgow con, I've done one of the Glasgow ones, Glasgow Comic Con. I think is the one I've done. There's a few Glasgow comic conventions that call themselves Glasgow Comic Con. That makes sense. Sadly, just as a punter, well, you just gotta keep at it. I was lucky to start doing comics in a time when they let any old poo exhibit, and that's how I got a table. It's such a fierce like demand. Like I think Thought Bubble said that they could at least fill eight Thought Bubbles, the amount of like people who want a table. Just please keep at it. Please keep like applying as well. Like yeah. So yeah, Bender from Futurama, a series which I really enjoyed, and then just stopped watching. I think like a lot of people sort of just fell off the board a little bit. Chap Shot has an idea for another stream idea. You could go through some comics, maybe older ones you enjoy or ones you've not seen before. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, like giving my opinion on stuff and talking about like how the artists like may have come to the decisions that they did, and or just how cool they are. I do have an Instagram where I do that sort of stuff. It's called Meet Me in the Dollar Bins. But I've not really kept up with it as much as I would have liked, because I got a bit busy with work. I thought about going through my old comics as well and going through just like my old comics, my old books, my old art and stuff. But then, oof, a chill runs through me. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to try. Is like vlogging a little bit. What did I think of Enchantment? Asks Ziboto. For myself, it seemed to suffer what the last few seasons of Futurama suffered with. I didn't mind it. I didn't watch all of it. I think that maybe says a lot. I thought some of the animation looked a bit weird. Because it was done in a sort of like, I think some stuff's done on a 3D setup but made to look 2D, and the backgrounds at least looked a little bit strange. But I was fine. I enjoyed John DiMaggio as the king. The little elf dude. I could, I don't know, take or leave. Elfo? I want to carry on watching them. But yeah, I just kind of quietly bailed. Season 2 was much better, apparently. I think sometimes you just got to give these shows or these cartoons a little bit of breathing room. I saw someone moaning about the first season of Parks and Rec the other day on Twitter, and that first season of Parks and Recreation you can just skip, just go straight into season 2, because there's nothing really that happens in season 1 that you really need to pay attention to. And season 2 of Parks and Rec just goes out the gate straight away, storms the barn or whatever. Storms out the barn. Is that the expression? It runs out of a barn. But I feel like because there's so much blooming TV nowadays, it's really difficult to give things a chance. Linda Holmes from NPR was talking about that in terms of Watchmen, because some people were saying about with Watchmen, like, it's like, oh, you've just got to get to like episode 5, and then stuff will slowly start like coming together. And she said that that was like a massive ask of people to give 5 hours away to a payoff. But I thought it was a great payoff. I really enjoyed the Watchmen TV series. That might get me kicked out of comics. But I thought it was spectacular. Ziboto asks, there are some rather nice animated shows out there. Would you ever be tempted to dabble? It's a heck of a lot of work just to pitch one. So, yeah, I thought about this a few years ago when I was poor. Because with animation, it's a lot better paid than comics. So I started, like, not dabbling, but I started looking into it and seeing what I would have to do. would my skills be transferable? What job would I do in animation? I think storyboarding would be the best thing for me to do. And then I realised that I didn't want to. I much rather wanted to be an author. I don't know if that sounds wanky or not, but I wanted to write books and, comics. I just wanted to do that more than like maybe pursuing a job in animation. It just seemed like at the time when every comic artist was trying to get into animation because it was just better paid. And that's really true, especially in America, because you would be part of a union, so you get your healthcare paid for you. Luckily, I live in a country where healthcare is free. It's not perfect, but it's free. So we don't have to worry about stuff like that. And that was last year I sort of realised that I kind of just wanted to get back to doing my own comics again. Now, does that mean I would not want to work in animation at all? Not at all. If someone wants to make an animated Chloe Noonan TV show, please do. And then you can bring me in and I can have a fun time without doing all the hours. Yes, as Iboto mentions, Midnight Gospel, Pendleton Ward's Netflix show. Yeah, man, that trailer looks crazy. Understandable. There was another good Netflix animation that I watched a little bit of. No, not Final Space. I'm gonna have to log into Netflix and then ask it what I mean. What do I mean? What was the show? It began with a K, I think. Oh, it does not like. It does not. Netflix does not like that I am streaming. Oh, don't. Okay, I can't remember what it's called. I think the main character was purple. Are we still streaming? Are we still up? Yeah, we're good. We're good. Cool. We're nearly done. think I might do the screen tones on stream as well. I think. Yeah, I can show you some stuff. Oh, I've got to fix that cat towel, haven't I? Yeah, that would. As we near the end of the stream, well, still got about 15 minutes left, I reckon. If you haven't smashed that follow button, please give it a follow. I do need a few more followers in order to become an affiliate on Twitch. It will really help me out. Cool. I'm going to do some speed lines. So I've not done them on screen before. Yeah, I'll just show you how they go. What I like about Clip Studio is that you can do pretty much every aspect of the comic in the app. So you can do your panel borders on there, penciling, you can do lettering on there, you can do your balloons on there as well. You can also do speed lines, which is a great little addition. To my, I guess, what do they call it, iconography. There's an extra sort of like tool in the tool belt. It really like brings like panels out. And my colorists will always like color them differently and like blend them into the background, so they're not just like thick black lines. So I'm sure there's an easier way of doing this rather than me rubbing them out or erasing, because rubbing out means something different. But I have yet to learn how to do anything easy on Clip Studio. Actually, I might leave those bottom ones. And what's good as well is that if you do erase them, you can get them back by just drawing sort of over the layer mask. Cool. I was debating if Oscar the Grouch should have the garbage can behind him. It seems like iconic to have like the trash can behind him, or the lid. Just say it's a blooming circle. Circles are not easy to draw. Yeah, that looks not bad. It looks not bad, the Marc Ellaby story. Cool. So if you are using Clip Studio to do a tone, you just go up to Layer, select New Layer, and select Tone, and it brings up the zip tones or screen tone selection. If you're doing stuff for web, you need the dots to be a little bit larger than they would be in print, because they won't show up on the screen as much. So I imagine on the stream it will just look like a sort of like a grey, pixely sort of thing. But when they're printed, it adds more of a shade. So yeah, you can just sort of like play around with the settings a little bit. I'll zoom in. You can see how that looks. There is a delay. Yeah, you can't get the gist of it. You can see it's very sort of pixely on screen, but as you zoom in, you see them more. So when it prints, it'll be loads better. And then you clear it using the sort of like circle icon on your toolbar that looks like a sun blast. It's next to the redo button. And then yeah, you just use the bucket tool. I refer to other layers. And there, yeah, you can punch it in pretty easily. It's a great bit of kit. I love Clip Studio. The sort of thing I wish I'd done years ago. Yeah, so I want a slightly lighter tone than the one I just used. I've been watching videos of people using real screen tone. You can buy it in sheets. It's almost like a letter set. You can rub them on the back and they make a pattern, or it's like a plastic sheet that you sort of lay over, and then it kind of sticks the artwork a little bit, and you have to use a scalpel to then cut it out and then peel the rest off. Terrifying. But watching people do them on YouTube is really satisfying. I'd love to like get hold of some, but it's really hard to find in the UK because it's all Japanese made and stuff. But seeing people with like scalpels just sort of like scratching off the screen tone as well to add like texture and stuff. You can see that on the stream. Yeah, it's really cool. I'd love to do them for like sketch covers and stuff. Something I'm trying to get back into. Trying to get back into analog a little bit. Still quite tricky. Cool. Ziboto says, I worked for a printers and found an old plan drawer full of Letraset halftone sheets. Thousands of pounds of this stuff. Whoa! Literally the holy grail. Wow, amazing. Do you have them? Or are they still in the work? Amazing. I've come across like photocopy sheets, but I've never come across like the real thing. That's yeah, that's amazing. Because I want some. Can I have them, please? Oh yeah. It'd be rude not to take them. I think. Man, amazing. I found a place online that did some, but they're quite expensive because they've got to import them. Yeah, that's the trouble with this stuff because it's so because it's almost like sellotape in a way, and you know how you have like sellotape when it gets yellow over time. And that's what happens with screen tone. So a lot of original artwork, if it has screen tone on it, the screen tone looks like it just looks yellow now. The dots are still there, but yeah, some of it gets knackered and unusable. Cool, there we go. I'm gonna call it there, I think. So I'll carry on mucking around with the screen tones off stream. But there we go, the fourth and final one of the fan art challenge. You got your Hellboy, your Judge Dredd, Waluigi, Oscar the Grouch, Sam Max, and Bender. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here this week. I will try again. I will be back on Tuesday at 4 p.m. UK time, where I think I'll be drawing some comics, unless something happens over the weekend. Hopefully some Chloe Noonan comics, for those of you who know that comic. If you don't, a big bunch of them are free on Gumroad at the moment. Go to gumroad.com/Marc Ellaby and you can get a digital omnibus for free. It's pretty good. And that'll be going up for another week, so plenty of time to check that out. So If not, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You know how to find me. And until then, take care of yourselves and have a very good weekend. Bye. Let's see if I can remember how to press the button.